everyone. My name is Barbara Bernadine, and my presentation today is about family practice as a social work. The person that I interviewed, she's a licensed clinical social worker. She goes by Dr. Judy. Her name is Judy Sinayers. She's a former graduate from FAU. She graduated in 2004. Currently, she is self-employed, which she has been for the past 6.5 years, close to 7 years. Her company name is Living the Dream Inc., and her area of focus is family. During my interview with Dr. Judy, I will refer to her as Dr. Judy. One of the questions I asked her was what were some of the typical family issues that she gets to see in the American family, the people that she deals with. And some of the issues that she mentioned were birth outside of marriage, divorce in families, sexual abuse of children, rape, violence in family, and infidelity, which is most of her typical cases she deals with. Target population for Dr. Judy are individual and couples. Those are the population she focuses on. A typical case for her, for example, she explained to me a couple was dealing with infidelity issue where the husband had cheated on his wife. And the reason for his action was because his needs were not being met at home, which to Dr. Judy, most times it's small issues become bigger issues. For instance, this couple that had the infidelity that were dealing with the infidelity issue. It's the husband felt that the wife's family was always involved in their relationship. Every time there was an issue, she would get her family involved. To her, she felt like she was trying to fix the problem, but for the husband, it was more of a problem because he wanted the two of them to discuss the issue, not for her to bring her family into the matter. So those were the typical cases, one of the examples Dr. Judy shared with me. And when asked Dr. Judy to describe a particularly some of the challenges that she deals with in her practice, one thing she says she deals with, it's able to keep the distance because sometimes being self-employed, her clients, they have her phone number, which is her cell phone number. And sometimes they would call thinking she's a friend. They will call her just out of the blue when she's not servicing them. So this is some of the challenges that Dr. Judy explained that she's dealing with in her practice. Success is very common in her practice, and the easiest aspects to her is doing the job. She's passionate about what she does. She helps doing what she does. So to her, she said doing the job was the easiest aspect. When asked her what was the most rewarding aspects, one thing she mentioned was finding solution to her clients. Finding a solution was one of the most rewarding aspects for her. I also asked Dr. Judy what are the current major micro issues in her area of practice. She mentioned one of the major micro issues in her area of practice was influence of external factors. When I asked her to elaborate a little more on that, she said the cases that she deals with normally, because it's individual and couple, what she gets to see frequently is private life being so public. For instance, with all the social media, If we use Facebook, people are always posting things that are going on into their life, whether it's personal or not. All the reality TV shows that are going on out there. So most of the cases that she deals with, to her, it's external factors, which is private matters, become public issues. We've covered the challenges and the rewarding and the easiest aspects. So we're going to move on to the next slide, and which is the organization piece. For Dr. Judy, it's a little different because she does not work for an organization. Being the fact that she's self-employed, so with the organization piece, I covered it with her business. And I asked Dr. Judy what are the funding sources for her business. She said there were no funding sources because she's self-employed, so she invests 100% out of her pocket for her business. I asked her what is it like to being self-employed. And one thing she says she loves about being self-employed, which I thought was great, it's the fact that she gets to make her own schedule. She works around her own schedule. She gets to work on a schedule that fit her. So for someone who has a family, although sometimes it could be stressful, because she said there are pros and cons, and the disadvantage of being self-employed, it's the fact that because you are the only person working for the business, which in her case she has to do pretty much everything. So she can't just rely on the fact that she working for an organization, you show up, you do the job, you get paid. For her, she has to do marketing. She has to focus on reaching out to clients. So she does more. Being self-employed, it takes more work to her. As much as she loves it, she said it takes more work. One thing I asked her is what would she improve? One thing she said she definitely needs to improve on is her marketing skills. She feels that she will be much more successful in her business as her marketing was as effective as it should. So that's definitely one thing she said as a business owner, someone who is self-employed, she needs to work on. After interviewing Dr. Judy, my reflection on family practicing as a social worker, consider working in this field. Now I don't know if it's something that I really want to do. The reason being it's because after hearing some of the cases that she deals with, especially with her being self-employed, I find it very challenging in a way where not only she's dealing with people who are, to me, infidelity, it's something that is, can't find the right word for it, but it's something that is very, it's a sensitive issue to deal with. So it will be very hard for me have to deal with couples who are either going through a divorce, or especially if it's infidelity that's caused the issue. The reason being is because growing up I've witnessed infidelity from my parents, as far as my father being disloyal to my mother. So that's one thing that I would not want to leave. I would not want to leave, have to go back to, because every time to me I would sit with a client, I will be reminded of the past. So that will be very challenging for me to deal with that. How will I be success in this field if I were to choose to do family as practice, as my area of practice? One thing I would do well is being able to listen, especially if there are children involved. Knowing that I had the experience as a child, I had no one to turn to, so I would understand. So I think it will be much easier for me to deal with the situation if there were children involved. I think I would do that well as far as listening and being there for the children. And that's my reflection after interviewing Dr. Judy. And I hope you enjoy my video, and I look forward to watching your videos. Thank you.